So imagine taking this super high-stakes, meticulous world of bank auditing and pairing it with the crazy disruptive power of artificial intelligence. It sounds like a bit of an odd couple, right? Well, a new study is showing us just how much AI is shaking things up in one of the most critical jobs in all of finance, the job of making sure a bank's numbers are actually telling the truth.
And that brings us to the big question we're going to dig into today. Can a machine really audit a bank better than a human? It's a bold idea, for sure, and you might be expecting a simple yes or no, but trust me, the real answer is a whole lot more interesting.
Okay, so to get why this is such a huge deal, you kind of have to look back at the history here. I mean, after some massive financial meltdowns and corporate scandals, public trust in financial statements just plummeted. The core problem, as the researchers point out, is this urgent need to rebuild confidence in the very numbers that drive our whole economy.
So how do you fix a crisis of trust that big? Well, the auditing world is turning to a powerful new solution, and that's where artificial intelligence comes into the picture.
Of course, not everyone is rolling out the red carpet for AI auditors. On one side, you've got the fans, the advocates, who are totally excited. They see AI boosting efficiency, chewing through massive amounts of data and making audits way better. But then on the other side, you've got skeptics raising some pretty serious red flags, worrying about depending too much on these complex black box algorithms, and yeah, the classic fear of machines taking people's jobs.
Before we go any further, let's just be super clear about what we mean by AI in this context. The study defines it as the science of building smart machines that can basically copy human thinking to solve problems. So we're not talking about sci-fi stuff here, you know. We're talking about practical tech, like neural networks that are designed to work like a human brain, and expert systems that use a huge knowledge base to make decisions.
So what's the goal here? What are we actually trying to measure? Well, the key metric is something called external audit quality. Now, that might sound a little vague, but the researchers have a very specific definition. It's the probability that an auditor will not only find a problem in the accounting system, but also, and this is the important part, that they'll actually report it. See, a quality audit means you're good at both catching and flagging the issues.
Okay, now we get to the first really big finding, and it shows how AI totally changes the game before an auditor even walks through the door. It all starts with cleaning up the books. This all boils down to a really fundamental question. Before you even start an audit, how good is the information you're working with? Because, an audit is only as good as the data it's looking at. It's that old saying, right? Garbage in, garbage out.
So the study, which focused on commercial banks in Jordan, found this absolutely staggering connection. Get this, 60.8%. That's how much of the difference in the quality of financial reports could be explained just by whether or not AI was being used. Let that sink in for a second. AI isn't just making little tweaks. It's fundamentally improving how accurate and reliable the data is from the very start.
And there you have it. That's the first domino to fall. When banks bring in AI, the immediate result is better, more trustworthy financial reports. And that simple fact sets the stage for everything else that's about to happen. So, okay, we've got these much cleaner, higher quality reports thanks to AI. The next logical question is, what does that do to the actual audit process? I mean, the logic here is pretty straightforward, right? If you give an auditor cleaner, more accurate, and better organized information, they can just do a much better job. They get to spend less time digging through messy data and more time doing what humans are great at, high-level analysis and critical thinking.
And the study puts a hard number on this connection too, an incredible 72%. That's how much of the final audit's quality is decided simply by the quality of the financial reports they started with. It just goes to show how critical it is for auditors to get good data from the get-go.
And just like that, the second domino falls. Better reports directly lead to auditors being way more effective. They can find errors, they can spot weird patterns, and they can uncover problems with so much more accuracy. The link is just undeniable. All right, now it's time to put all of these pieces together and see the whole picture. Let's talk about the AI domino effect.
So if we step back for a moment and look at the whole process from start to finish, forgetting the middle steps for just a second, what's the total direct impact of AI on the quality of an audit? The study looked at that relationship too. And the number is massive. 79.7%. The researchers found that nearly 80% of the variation in audit quality is directly connected to using AI. That's a huge finding. But the real story, the really cool part, is how this actually happens. This quote from the study's abstract really says it all. The impact of AI on external auditing quality is moderated by the quality of financial reporting. Now, moderated is just a fancy research word. It basically means that AI's power is channeled.
It doesn't just magically make audits better on its own, its real impact comes through its ability to create better financial reports first.
So here's the full chain reaction. It's a simple three-step process. Step 1, a bank adopts AI. Step 2, that AI cleans up the data and improves the financial reports. And step 3, the auditors, who are now armed with these amazing reports, can perform a much higher quality audit. See? It's not just one thing, it's this powerful sequence of events.
And hey, for anyone out there who loves the raw data, here's the proof. The researchers tested every single link in this chain. Does AI directly improve audits? Yep, supported. Does AI improve the reports? Yep, supported. Do better reports lead to better audits? You bet, supported. And does the whole domino effect, the whole chain reaction, hold up? The data screams yes. Every single one of these steps is statistically rock solid.
So let's bring this all home. What does this all actually mean for the world of banking and finance? So what? Why does any of this really matter?
Well, the key takeaways here are pretty clear. First, AI's biggest superpower isn't helping the audit itself, it's cleaning up the data before a human even sees it. Second, this whole thing just confirms how critical it is to have great financial reports to begin with if you want a great audit. And finally, based on all this, the study strongly recommends that banks should lean into this technology and really ramp up their use of AI.
At the end of the day, the real insight here isn't about just giving auditors a flashy new tool. The real revolution is using AI to perfect the actual information they're looking at. It's about improving the source of truth itself. And all of this leaves us with a pretty fascinating and kind of mind-bending question for the future. If AI's ultimate goal is to perfect the data, to make financial reporting almost flawless, then what's the future role of the human auditor? What do they do when hunting for errors isn't their main job anymore? Definitely something to think about.